Hello everyone. This is part 2 of, what did we call this? I will have to refer it. I forgot what we called it, but it's making a junk journal out of a cover and using some Dash of Dave papers. This is Anne at Junk Journals by Anne, and welcome to the show. And I hope you can follow along with the first part. If not, I will attach it to the below in the description. Okay, so I have done a few things. I mean, where we left this, before we left it, where I had just put in this little, and it's a little lower piece for the cloth covering on the inside of the book. I also, all the signatures are together now, and I have trimmed them all here because when you put these signatures together, they kind of build up, and the ones in the center are going to stick out a little bit more. So they were kind of sticking out, and I thought it would be better just to go ahead and, you put them down, put a ruler down here, take a nice sharp blade, and just slice, and very gently slice it until you get all those done. So I've done that. I have made some, I cut apart all the ephemera pieces that I made. I made some pocket, actually these are journal cards. So there's 3 journal cards. I backed them with coffee dyed paper. Okay, these are larger journal cards, and I'm going to just leave them with square corners. And these are like when I printed 2 on a page, that's how I got these. And so this was, and I had some pretty grungy paper. Sometimes when you over bake something in the oven, it gets pretty grungy. And then because I did those at 4 at a time, I made a couple little booklets like this. Oops, this is the one that was the other journal card, because I made two pages with 2 full pieces of paper. I printed it 2 on a page. And so I just had some lined paper, and I don't mind the lines are going sideways. Somebody, if they really want to write, they can write this way. But it's I always do coffee dyed paper when I coffee dye. I've got a small pan and 2 larger pans, so there's always room on the side of the small pan to put some smaller things. So I just have this, and I just stapled them in 2 places. And my stapler, I know it's not a long arm staple, but it's an older stapler. And it's kind of antique, nice and orange. That's my stapler. So it's got quite a good length in here that it can go. So I can get a good reach with it. But if you do a long arm staple and you don't have a stapler that works that way, you can put it down, put it on a piece of foam, staple into it, turn around, pull the little points out, and just push them down with something sharp so you're not going to poke into yourself. And you can do it that way. So that was a booklet made with one of the larger journaling cards. And then I made a smaller one too out of the small journal card, because there was 4 of those on a page that I'd made into journal cards. So here's a smaller one too, and I didn't quite get it quite right this way, but you know what? It's a junk journal, right? So, and I don't know that this journal is going to anybody else. It'll be mine, my sample. So anyway, there's that. And then I also, what I did also, I wanted some really kind of unusual pockets. I did those. I cut out I printed and then I cut around them. Now I also backed them with something to give them a little bit more sturdiness, because the printer paper I use is pretty flimsy. So it gave a little bit of sturdiness to it, and all of those, and I cut those all out. That's all that time-consuming work. And by the way, I inked everything too. And then this is extra piece. I'm going to use it. I made a little note on it because nobody's going to see that. I also did some of the bottles. I just printed extra, so the bottles, and some of them are grungy. They're going to be used as little tags. Just put a backing on them so they're stiffer, okay? is those. And then I've got another bottle over there. This one's going to be a corner tuck, corner this way, probably on the right hand side of the page. This one is going to be also be a corner. I decided this one I think is going to be a left hand side of the page because it would be this way. And where's the other one? I think it's this one. This is a right hand tuck spot here, but I backed them so that they're stuffed. And this was some really grungy paper, so it's a good use for that. Some of these are just going to be doing as page edges or something if I don't have a, you know, if I really do. That's this stuff one like this that I can't write on. Yeah, I'll probably use those as just page edges. So I'm going to keep those apart. And then I also did printed one of those sheets here that I had this one printed out, and I'm going to put this in, and I believe this is the front cover. So let me move these aside, and that's the first thing we're going to start with. We're going to do the inside of the front cover right now. And I'm going to get my glue page, which I really love. This all it is a Teflon mat. But you can just glue on it, and then you can throw it in the dishwasher and wash it out. So anyway, this goes here and this goes here, and I believe that's the right way. Yes, and that's the top. So I'm just going to use some regular Scotch permanent glue because it's really just paper and paper except for this line here. But I'm just going to glue. So how is everyone today? I hope you're doing well and that you're finding lots to craft with. Okay, I'm going to put this on here. Make sure I get the top on this right. Come on, my booklet. I want to cover this old, just have a little bit of edge covering there, and then it is going to go over just at the edge of that paper right there. I do have a bone folder over here someplace. It was just right here. Where did you go, bone folder? I know I didn't leave you. All right, I can't be you. I'll use my scissors till I find you. Probably get it under here someplace. All right. I'm going to go hunting. Just bear with me for just a minute. I found it. I feel better. I just threw it over there. Like that. Okay. So we'll be back, and we'll have the cover all ready to accept the signatures. Okay, so this is the side that needs to have a lot of glue on it. All right. I have to tell you about my cats. I don't think I told you about my cats, and they might be in here. I have one cat that, my older cat, Horace. I spoiled him and gave him way too many treats when he was growing up. So he kind of expects it. But what I found is that when he wants treats, and if I'm not giving it to him, he goes and retrieves a toothpaste off my bathroom counter. And he also gets it's a little like 4-inch drain that's in my shower. It's not permanently screwed in. And he can retrieve that. And he brings that to me, and he just sits there like, and I call it the dead mouse. You know, he's bringing me a gift. Okay, so we have the cover is all completed. The next thing we need to do in order to get the signatures in, which I think I'm going to go ahead and put the signatures in before I put any pages in. I think it will make it easier to do. is I've got a piece. I'm going to set the cover aside and let that dry a little bit. Okay. I printed another page, and I was thinking about having this book right here, and I have a piece of this, bring back the cover back, a template. This is going to be hidden signature, so we're going to glue it on here, and that's a good fit for in here. Okay, it gives a little bit of room for this to fold up. Okay, so yeah, it will fit right in there. Okay, it will fit. Okay, because I said it would. There, it's going. So, okay, so now I was thinking about doing right here on this. Okay, I'd like this book, I think, since it's tall, to be on here. And what I'm going to do is roughly, and I say rough, I'm going to go around it about like this, and just try to give myself a line to cut. This part will not be seen. We're going to go ahead and cover this before we poke holes in it. That way the holes will be in the back and will be all the way through it. Nobody will see this pen marks because that'll be to the back. So let me cut this. Now I'm going to move this glue mat because it's kind of sticky. Nothing wants to move on it either. Things get stuck. Okay, I'm going to, this one, I don't cut very straight. I do better if I have a trimmer. But this is not going to matter at all. Okay, and this side. All I want is a section of this. Okay, it's going to be folded over. And we're not going to see it. Okay, I'm going to put these few scraps aside. All right, now, just to give myself a good preview, I'm going to go ahead and kind of just gently fold things, like fold this end up, and I do this earlier. I'm going to fold this end up here, and then we'll just fold it backwards. But this gives me the crease lines that I need so that I can have it placed where I want it when it's done. And that way, when I sew it in, you'll have a good picture on the inside of this. So now I'm going to fold it this way. If I get one in, I can lay this back down. It's not very straight, but straight enough, right? I didn't cut it very straight. Okay, so here, now we have this on here. It's plenty to go over, and this side will be on here. This side's here. This side's here. Okay, how do we come out? Okay, it looks pretty good. All right, and then the top. This way. This is just wrapping the hidden spine in something nicer. So I do want to miter the corners, and I'm going to just take a little bit, not quite at the corner, away. So you don't want to go right at the corner. You want to go a little bit beyond, so it has a little base to wrap around. Okay. All right, and I'm going to wrap this one and wrap this one. Okay. So now put this back in here, and we can just use the glue stick again to just put some glue up here. Fold it over. And then we'll mark the holes. I have a template already made. Okay, that didn't fall quite right. So I can get that up and get that there at the edge. Okay, there. Kind of got off whack. Okay. And then this, at this end, I'm going to just glue, but I'm also going to put a little bit of, I want to kind of just tuck this down here on either side of it and fold it up. Okay, so that's nice and covered. And this side too. Just go ahead and put some glue down. And fold this up. If you tuck those ends in, just glue that down. There, okay? So we have that done. So that's going to be my top, and I'm going to put this as the top. Top. Okay, top. Okay. Now, let me close up the glue. Don't need that for right now. I made a little template, and I just did that by taking a piece of paper that was the same size as my spine, the hidden spine piece, and take that, so that measured the same, and then you just fold it in 3 parts. You fold it in half lengthwise, and then you fold each side in this way, okay? So they go in halfway and in halfway, okay? So you've got 3 lines here for the lengthwise, and then just fold it in half, and then I fold it down 3/4 to an inch down for the thing, and turn them both over so that they're folded the same direction. And then where the intersections are, and sometimes I have trouble finding where the intersection, the vertical and the horizontal lines meet, so I ink it a little bit, and that shows up, and so I poke the holes. Well, I didn't poke them, I marked them. So, and then I'm going to take a piece of washi tape. Hold on, please. I'm going to hold this down because washi will come off easy without tearing the design, the paper. And I am going to go ahead and do it from the back. I'm also going to put this as the top on here. Top. Ooh, look at that writing. Okay, so this can be at the top here, and this can hold this down, and then one at the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and poke my holes, and I have a little little awl, although actually one thing, my favorite awl, excuse me, is this. It's an ice pick, okay, nice and big, and it's nice and fat too. If you need, you know, you're gonna go through and you want to make bigger holes, get a big ice pick, okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my holes into this book, which is also a glue book, and just takes a little bit, as long as it's going through. I can tell, feel it go through into the book, and I think I can see the hole even better than I marked it. Would be nice to have it all lined up. Yep, I didn't quite do it there, and that will show up, but yeah, your goal is to get them nice and straight. So that one looks like that one's on line. I do have a little bit of vision problems, but you know, this is a junk journal world. If we wanted handmade, if we wanted machine made books that were perfect every time, we would not be in this junk journal world. This is creativity, so I will just say, you know, it's not perfect. I don't want it to be perfect, but it's perfect in its imperfections, okay? And then I'm going to do this one here. And there are 2 more to go. And then what we need to do now is remember to take off the template. I have been very guilty on more than one occasion. I'm going to put this nice big ice pick away and put it back in my tool brush. Well, I will need that again when I do the signatures. I've been guilty of leaving my template on. I have to tear it off later. And of course, then you can't use it to mark your signatures either. So, yeah. Yeah, I've done that more than once. It's like, duh. All right, come on. I think I got a little glue on it. There. All right, there's one. I will put the tape over here. And, yeah. So I know it's early for a Halloween journal, but this one just kind of came up, and thought I would go ahead and do it. And save the template. It's marked with the top, and of course I know that this is the top because that's the top of the book. So now what I'm going to do is get my signatures lined up, moving my glue page over here. And since they are in I've already decided how I want them to be in the order that they're in, and we can take a flip through it later when we get done. Because there was kind of an uneven number of pages. So I like to use these big paper clips to hold it in place, and this will kind of maybe just make sure it gets down there and then in the center, and then use a paper clip here, and I'll go down to the bottom of the other page, get it on here. Let me get another couple paper clips. They're handy. I have to say that they're handy. Right over here. I'll paper clip it all. Okay. And here. Okay. So now I'm going to put my glue book / hole poker into it, and then I want to get out some thread, and I think I'm going to use some wax thread for this book. I have some really dark. This would be really cool because it's so dark. It's almost a black, and I think that would be perfect for this journal. So we're going to go three lengths. 1, 2, 3, and a little bit more. And my little needle finder, and this time I did a journal early on and didn't have the big-eyed needle, so I've got the big-eyed needle now, and I also have to poke holes. Okay, so this is the first, this is the top, and so this is going to be folded back this way, okay, inside of itself, so that will fit in the journal. And then I can just, where did I go? Where did it go? All right, it's here. Oh, it rolled off. It rolled off the books. Okay, so I can just hold that, and okay, I'm going to poke one in the middle. I'm going to poke one at the top. And I do keep my hand well away from it. I don't want to jab myself. Oop, that's going to be a big hole. And poke one at the bottom. Okay, and I take the template out. All right. And now I've got my needle threaded and go out in the center hole. And I always like tuck the tail of the long tail, and I'll tuck it into one of these paper clips to kind of hold it in place. It can still pull out, and you can put another thing in there. Set that aside. Okay, and come in. Whoop, you know what? We did not go into. All right, this is the top, and this is the first signature, so it's got to be this hole right here. It's got to go in here. It's got to go into the spine. Don't forget the spine. Yeah, we do crazy things when we're doing our journals. Okay, this is goes in this whole part of the spine, and I need to make sure I bring that tail out and make it longer. Okay. This gets too long. I'll see if I can't speed this up through here. There's lots of people, I'm sure, that do show you how to do this better and easier, have more experience than I have. But I've done my fair share of journal making. And so using this is called the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And it's a very, very basic type of way to sew a journal together. And then now we have to go back in and to that center hole, and you want to kind of hold that thread away from the hole so it doesn't snag it, because then it won't not you can't pull it tight. And at this point I'm going to hold the tail and pull it down this way and pull this in. Okay. So that's one signature done, and I always go through, make sure you get under, so you've got a wing on each side. Excuse me, a wing on each side. And if your wings aren't even, of course I like them, you know, but I want them fairly even, and you can kind of pull them through until they kind of latch, and then you can really make them latch too. Okay, pull them snug. Do a square knot, which is right over left and left over right. That means right over left. And then I'll have to go under the little circle. And then left over right. Circle. Okay. And then if you want to do a third one, go back to the right. This kind of holds that, this holds that knot in place. And I use plenty of thread, and I'm not going to save it. I'm just going to keep it up. Okay, one signature on our little hidden spine. Okay, let's go to signature 2. So this is an exciting part of doing a journal. We have to poke our holes again. So now we'll get the book. Get the center of the book. Whatever you have as your center. And tap it down. Hold it with 4 paper clips. You can get these on Amazon. They're very handy, and you'll find that there's other uses for them too, but they make this holding your pages, since they'll hold, you know, go in quite a bit, they will hold very nicely. And I just love using these. And every once in a while you find other purposes for them too, so multi-use tools. So let's get to our template. Here's the top. Here's the top of my book. And so now I want to fold over the center fold line, and that center is what's going to go in here. Set the top. Okay, I'm going to get the middle one. One. And the one at the bottom. Okay. get some thread again. Maybe there's plenty if we just do 3 lengths of bleed. You can also buy the thread, very inexpensive on Amazon. Just a little bit more. I couldn't do more. I believe I was, my fingers, I'm sorry, they have a little bit of inking on them that's come off. So it is very good to have a very wide needle, and I can't tell you what size needles these are, but they do make threading a needle very easy. Again, I'm going to put this tail under something that's going to kind of hold it good. Yeah, that one's holding. Okay. And I got to find, where's my signature? Okay. This is going into the middle. So this is the middle hole. It goes in the middle hole, the middle line, back in. And there's this upper hole. Right through there. Come down to the bottom. And you can do either you go top to bottom or bottom to top. It really doesn't matter. So whatever way you do it, it's gonna, as long as you remember you got, you know, you poke your holes and you use your template in the right way. Okay. And then we're going to pop back in through the middle. And see if it went on through. It just went through the spine part, and then I can get my thread and then put it back in here. And and I should be pulling this out of the way, so this will go. All right. There. Okay. There it goes. I'll put my needle up there. I always put my needle to the back of the table, the bench, because your desk, because and you can check and see how snug these are. These got a little bit of looseness to it, so I'm gonna see if I can pull a little bit tighter. There. The first one we did. This one is, where are you pulling from? Okay, you're pulling from this one. This one, yeah, okay. You want it fairly snug. Okay, and make sure that the center line goes between the 2 wings. So again, we're going to go right over left. And left over right. And then go ahead, right over left again, just to make sure. And I'm just going to clip it. Okay, take off these split caps. Getting down there. Just have one signature to go. And one thing you can do too when you get these down is you can kind of train your pages. You know, just do a few of these at a time. I like how dingy these papers are. be a nice big book. Okay. All right, let's get our last signature in. All right, so set that aside a minute until we get this one ready. Okay, and we're going to go to the middle signature. I'm going to tap it down, make sure everything's that way. I'm going to use my ruler. Make sure that all the spine pieces get in there, and then maybe tap it down again. And then, oh, they did not get down there. There they are. Then, capture them with a big paper clip. On this side, and this side. And you can add in here. Here. And there. As soon as it doesn't feel like it's all right in there together yet. Yeah. There. Okay. So template with a U. Here. Okay. So now we're going to fold in that last template. So, and I want to make sure that this is the top. This is the top of the book. The signature, excuse me. Well, it goes in the top of the book, so the top is the top, right? All right. Okay. So I'm going to stick that one down there, like that, right there in that signature. All right, after this, I'm going to squished it there. Okay. Okay, there. Making big holes in this. And that's my hand. My finger is away from that. Yep. Yep. See them. Sometimes it takes a little bit of strength to get through these. Okay, I've got that one. All right, I'm going to put this away now. The last, we need the big ice pick poker tool. Okay. All right, now we're going to get more thread. 1, 2, 3, and a bit more. Okay, threaded this needle. All right, so we're going to go in the middle here, and I'm going to go in the middle here. Okay, I'll pull that through, and I do want to attach one of these. Some of those are not very tight. Yeah, maybe tight. Maybe not very tight. I like to hold it on something tight. It's going to hold that, so it's not going to pull out. But I think we have enough, because sometimes it just runs through it. So, all right, come on. All right. So I'm going to go up to the top of the spine, the hidden spine piece. Find this hole. Just poked it through the other side. Make it a little bit bigger. There it is. Sometimes you have to do that. I guess I should have, when I poked the spine, I should have poked them through easier. That hidden spine would make the holes a little bit more visible. So coming from the top down out at the bottom. And then into that last hole there. And I hope I'm in camera view. Trying to be. You can't really tell me, can you? Well, I won't know until I run the video. You know, I've said for about 2 years that I wanted to be a tutorial person and just wasn't getting there, I don't know, just everything seemed to be getting in my way, and, you know, just wasn't the right time, and it just, so even now I'm kind of struggling to make sure that I have a life of, I mean, I have things I do, I mean, I stay busy. All right, so where's my thread here? I want to pull it out of the way and get it up through there. There we go. There. Okay, there's the thread, the needle. Here's the, oh, I've got to get it under. One of these is, yep, one's under. Get in there. Need to be about the same width with the central thread and kind of work it. You can do that several times. As long as they haven't caught it. And if you caught it, it's not going to move very well. Okay. I don't think that's the case. Let's go over here. This is good. Guess this one's just going to be a little bit quite uneven since I'm clipping them off anyway. I'm not just trying to have a dangle. Sometimes if you hold that, you know, keep the ends long, you can do charms on it. This one I didn't want to do charms on it. Sometimes I do. There. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. Take these off. There. So I have them all on the spine. Now, well, excuse me, I need to go get some double-sided tape because I like to tape it and then glue it with, it's going to need to be a fabric glue because I have fabric on the inside. Hold on, I will be back. Coming. I'm right back here. I'm getting some double-sided tape. One of these days, when I finish getting my room cleaned up, I am going to have a craft room tour. It's pretty good shape. Had a friend help me beginning of the year, and we went through everything. I mean, everything was taken out, everything was taken out of the room, okay? So she used to work for a professional organizer. And that's why they started, they emptied the room, not the furniture, okay? The furniture stayed, but it was like, so we could get things together. And since she wasn't she had some experience with junk journal making, but didn't have a lot of it, as she didn't realize some things you need to have a lot closer, and so I couldn't just have all my paper things in one spot. I've made a few modifications. She had all my books so they kind of hidden away in a closet, and actually I had to climb up on a little stool to reach them, and it's like, that was not a good way for me. So that was the first thing I changed, but I've changed several things to individualize it myself. And I mean, I do appreciate, I know she gave me a good rate because she's not a real professional, but it was, you know, it was something, she was taking her time away from other things that she could be doing, so it was fair to pay her, as well that she was not a professional. Okay, so I'm going to smudge this all down really well. Okay, all these down right over everything. I'll get all smushed down, and I'm going to turn it this way. Trim this off just a little bit. I'm going to take some scissors and trim that. There. Okay. These don't hang over the edge, I don't believe. Okay. So now I'm going to take these off, and I did find a way. I had trouble getting some of this off, and I found a way with a pick. I don't have one handy, excuse me. One of my Cricut tools that's over here handy. I can take it off a little bit easier. Yep, just kind of snag it and kind of just snag that paper, and it comes right off. I didn't know for a long time how people were doing that, but I just had to work with it until, you know, you kind of get up by a corner or something, and it pulls off and leaves the sticky tape behind. I used to be able to do it with my fingernails, but as you see, I'm not growing very good fingernails. This one isn't sticking. Let me try this side. Yeah, that side sticks. I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac on here too, a Fabri-Fix. That's what I have is a Fabri-Fix. I think they're very similar. Yeah, okay. There we go. Let's put that down. And now I'm going to put this on. Be generous with it. Okay. Because having the wet glue on, the wet glue on it too will give it a little bit of, if you put the double-sided tape right down on it, you're stuck right away, but having a little bit of this wet glue gives you a little bit of time to do a little bit of wiggle. And do it really well. I want it to really stay in the signature. I want to stay in the book. As it was when I bought that book. I didn't find the book block with it. Might have been a good book. I might have to look it up and see if I can't find that book. Okay, so this is the top. Where is the top of my, this is the top of my book. That is a good thing to check. Dust this off a little bit. There's a few little schmutz on it. Okay, maybe this way up it a little bit better. And move it up here and try to get it centered, you know, top and bottom. And just there on the way I have in there. And then bring up the back, bring up the front. Let's see if it won't just jibe right in there. Nope, it's not in there. Not quite jibe. Oh, it's not. I must have gotten it in here. I made it a little bit too big. All right, we're going to back up and we're going to just we're going to cut a little bit. And I need to just trim off just a little bit of that edge right here. How embarrassing. I thought I had it trimmed off. All this glue that's on here, it's still wet. So I do this. But you know what? I want it to be real. This is the stuff you go through, you know, when you don't identify, don't, you know, see your problems to begin with. Here's a pair of scissors that are, those are zigzag. Oh, sorry. I think these are the ones that are supposed to be the, come on. They'll cut through anything. These are the heavy-duty scissors. All right, now, so I don't have a nice folded edge on that one. It is good that this is a book for me. Let's see what to do. Not that side is in. It's this side that was having the issue. That was feeling better. Okay. Let's see if this is this way. This way. I think there's just a little lip if it would get down here. There. Okay. And it's holding in there. Okay. It's holding in there. Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to push this down on the inside here. Now I go between the signatures. Alright, come on, between the signatures and push it down. Between the signatures, push it down. And push it down. See, this one didn't get back far enough. I don't know if I can move it now. I don't think it's pretty well stuck in place. Okay. All right. So, okay. I think with a little bit of working, it will be fine. Okay. Oh, that was a little piece of double-sided tape. Okay. So we got our signature. And it's not a real, it is kind of a gator mouth book, but you know what? I like that. So, I probably need to just sit there and clean up just a little bit, and then I'm going to put in some of the decorating pages. Like I said, this was just, Dash of Day did not make ephemera pieces. So, let me see what I've got and where I've got it. And let me put up this pair of scissors. That away, that away, that away. This pair of scissors, put all these away. Give myself a little bit of room so I can do some decorating because I've got some other things going. I'll put my thread away. Goes back in the drawer over here to the side. My paper clips go over here on the drawer. Alright. Everything's kind of on the sides. You got a desk and it's never big enough. Not when you're doing something like this, is it? Okay. So, okay. One of the things I thought I would do is, and I I've got some black lace that I think I might do a little bit of repair on that. But in the meantime, let me see. This is a wonderful book. So it's got a few little issues, right? Okay. I'm going to put that there. The glue is up. Tape is up. All right. Washi tape is up there. All right. So I think I have some pages over here that were part of the design. This is all, yes, there are some pages over here that are part of the decorating. Okay, let's see what I have here. These pages, I know I wanted to go alongside of a journal. Okay. This one's side of a journal. These definitely are side of a journal. Side of a journal. This is a corner tuck spot. So let's do the corner tuck spots. I'll do one in each signature. And for the time being, I'm going to do one. And I think these are going to go on like a page like this, or maybe this music sheet. I have a left-handed one someplace. I think this is right-handed one. This is left-handed one. Okay, so this is going to be a left-handed corner tuck spot here. So I'm going to put glue down here and here, and I'm going to just use my regular, it's tacky glue. I like the clear tacky glue. And I'm basically just going to follow along this line. And you see this was some of that paper that got really dark and crisp. So just put it down here, over here, and over there. So, and I like this because it's upside down lid. It's ready to go then when I'm ready to use it. I'm going to get as close to the side as I can. And this is what I figured that one of these larger journal cards would go in here. But I don't know if it will now that I've trimmed. I might have to trim these. So, yeah. Okay, there's a pocket. Okay, or a corner tuck. And so let me go back to the middle signature. I started at the back, so let's go to the middle signature. And here's a blank page. It's middle signature. Yes, this is the right-hand one. This is going to go this way. So I'm going to glue on these two sides here, here, and here. So, yeah, just glue down at the bottom. And this is getting kind of low on glue on this one. But there's enough glue to do this. And I just made the ephemera by, seeing what was in his, taking some of the bottles and reprinting, and then cutting them out, and probably would have saved my time if I would have just used glued it right on the backing page right to begin with. Again, I think these journal cards might be too big. I might just end up sticking these in here, just as, I might make some little flips or something. We'll see. Okay, and one of these is in the first signature then. Okay, I've got another right-hand page here. Right-hand page, and I think this one is a right-hand page. So again, we're just going to go here and here. Okay, so that's this way, bottom and this side. You have plans when you do something, and then when you actually have to do it, and then sometimes you just have to think you're ready for something. I'm still learning on how to do these tutorials, and I don't do very much editing. Hopefully I will And I just realized I put my last one up without putting my introduction on it. So I will put the introduction on this one. I was so eager to get one out. Okay, there's that. Okay, what else do we have? These are our bottles that I want to just put on pages because they're so grungy on the back. Nothing will happen to them. Just now, this could be a little tuck spot if I just glued it here and here. Just a little tuck spot. So I think I'm going to do that. Boy, my fingers are dirty. So, okay, I'm just going to glue. I'm going to glue at the bottom. It's kind of a long little pocket thing just to have something to tuck something in. Okay. It's kind of how when I do have ephemera, I like to kind of separate it out and, you know, put one in you know, for signature, and you get 3 pieces, you know, spread them through the journal, spread them through the signatures so that everybody's got the signature. This one like this way. This was a strange little bottle. So I'm going to just do it on that side and see how toasty that paper got. Well, I found a use for it then, didn't I? I actually have some paper that somebody had a fire in their house. Something caught on fire, and she gave me some papers, and I have not used those burned edge pages. Maybe I should have pulled them out and used that on this journal. Okay, there's okay, I hope I'm still in the frame here. Okay, and then one for the 3rd spot. Line paper, I don't want to use that other up. This would be a good one too, just, it's pretty grungy looking, so. Did not look like it would be a good one to write on, so it's better if I just turn it upside down, especially for right-handed. It's almost could have been another little right-handed tuck spot. This glue is paper to paper, so it should be fine. That paper backing I put on these, just paper. And Dave's beautiful bottles. Magic potion bottles. Okay, let's see what else I have over here. So I think the big journaling cards, if I use them, I'm going to have to cut them down. So I'm going to set them aside. They're not even going to go in. I have these other pockets too that I was going to, maybe these smaller journal cards. Oh, I don't want to put them in just yet because that glue on there. So I have, I actually have 4 of these. I'm not sure if I'm going to use more than 3. Okay, so let's go back to the first part. And we got one there. Got one there. Let's go back here and look back for the signature. This brown paper is not very sturdy. Maybe this will be sturdier. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to make the bottom tuck. I mean, it could go up this way or that. I had this one listed as an extra tuck spot. So for some reason, so I will use another one. This one looks fine. Okay. I'm just basically going to just tuck it down here at the bottom. Well, I think I will hold this. This will be a pocket because it's got glue on 3 sides, right? Should we call it a pocket? cut out fancy bottles. Yeah. Sometimes I lose this lid too. Okay, just hold that. Got another one over here. Okay, so in section 3. This is section 2, excuse me. And let's put one here on this side, because where's this other one's in here? Alright, this one, and then this one was up here, so let's do this one. Yeah, we'll do that one. So, right here. Okay, that looks good. Again, just make a pocket out of it. Now, another thing a person could do on something like this is you could get some, just some coffee dyed paper or something, or make it look parchment-like or something, and folded parchment paper, you know, those aged looking, you know, to make it look, you know, like there's writing paper in there, you know, old notes, the thing, which would be really cool. Yeah, I might need to do that to some of this. Hopefully this glue will dry so I can stick a few things in here before we close out. Okay, so there's one. Okay. Put these real close together. Okay, there's one. There's two. I got those two kind of close together to the back of the signature. Let's go up here at the front of the signature, and let's use this. Okay. It kind of goes good. There's blue and blue. Just kind of accidental. Now, I didn't worry about matching any colors on this. You can if you want to, but this whole bottle, since they're all such unique, potent bottles, you can do what you want to do when you use paper like this. You know, that's okay. Threw the lid away. I'm throwing things at you. Okay, here's that. And I think these are the only things I had glued in. The corner tucks, a couple of page edges, and I have one more page edge I could, or another pocket I could put in here if I wanted to do something else, but I have. So let's go back to the first, and let's see, I have these. These are all ones that could be written on. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 2 and 2. 2 for each signature, okay? So they're not the page edges that you want to go through, they're pockets. This is a page edge, basically, but it could be a little tuck. I left it so it could be a tuck. And I might put some other paper in there. Find these. So here's one right here. So that can go in there. This should be another one in here also. Okay, that's the thing. You go through and you do this stuff, and this one can be in here. Just right there. Okay. Needs to come. Yeah. So that's a tag. Now what would be, I'm not going to do it, but you know, a person could add a ribbon around here or a piece of twine or something around here. But you could decorate the bottles up even more. Okay, so we're going to go into the second signature. Okay, here's the little text spot here. Now I do have the journals here. I don't know if that'll fit. Let's see, did I glue that down there? I did not. That's too big. Maybe, well, I have the smaller journal cards. I think that's what I'm going to use. Here's a bottle here. And here's a bottle here. It's almost, that will be as a tag. Okay, so here's the last two. Okay, here's one here. This is tall, so that'll be good. I just need to kind of fold in there. That's the tag. And that's a corner tuck spot there. I think I'm going to swap these two though. I think this one might be better over here. Yeah, I think I can move this one over here. There, that's a little more stable there. And then this one. So now, the other things that we could do is we have this journal card here that I intended to be able to put in the smaller bottle, in the smaller one. It could fit there. And let's see where the other pocket is here in the middle section. Yeah. Let's see, there's a journal card here. That could go behind here. Okay, this fits right in there. Where is it in this one? Here. That one. There it is. I think I'll just put these journal cards behind here, and you know, they don't fit quite in. They kind of fit in with those. So we have our in the larger journal cards. We'll just do that. Okay, this book needs to be a little smushed a little bit, but that's our book. Okay, I have these two, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with those. I don't think that these are, oops, I don't think that these are, this might fit in there, like that one. I don't know if there's a big enough bottle on one of those other ones. Where did one go? Okay, let's see if we can find, get that. That was corner tuck. Just our little bottles that we put just to, now we're flipping through this now, going backwards, okay? So you can see the journal. There's plenty of writing space in here. There's plenty of cool pictures in here. You know, you can always, if you want to, you can always write, especially on the lighter areas, and some of these you can write on the pictures. You know, you don't have to confine yourself just to the journal pages. And there's, you know, with line paper in here, the lines are right side up. You know, just do that. And I think maybe what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this in the center, or maybe the signature, and just put this one in because it's a little bit larger, and it's not going to just in there. I don't know if I can fit in here. So this is one, it's kind of glued down, and this is, I see, is a little bit of glue on here. And just a little glue. That crispy stuff just did not quite want to glue onto something. But I think to add this, I think what I probably will do just for my own sample, and when I share this with other people and say that this is a sample of a journal that they can make, I might put some little paper in there that they can take out. But there's got to be one more of those little touch spots. But you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm just going to put this in. I've got a little paper clip up here someplace. Okay, I'm going to just get one of these paper clips. And I'm just, actually I think I will just put this at the back of the book. Just clip it in at the back of the book. There. So that is our second part, finishing up a journal. You know, that's this one, you know, just, we all have mistakes, but this one needs a little, I think if it sits under a little book, it'll open it nicely. And, you know, there's plenty of writing space in here. I could gift this one to somebody, one of my friends. If I know somebody who likes to journal, it might be a cool one just to give to somebody who likes, maybe, I have some friends who are kind of like the occult a little bit, you know, so maybe that's who I need to give it to. So, yes. So anyway, this is a fun way to make a journal. Find a digital paper that you like. Find a book cover that you like. Take a book apart, you know, especially if you get books that you buy at the dollar store, or I mean, not at the dollar store, at a thrift store or something, and they're down to, you know, you pay less than $1 for a book. That book is going unloved, so at least the cover can live on. I think I will make it my mission this afternoon, since this is a little after noon, and for me, the day I'm doing this. But I think after lunch, I'm going to look and see if I can't find a copy. Maybe there's a paperback copy of this Abe Lincoln short stories and speeches. Might be good for the history buff part of me. And then see what I missed in getting that block. And maybe there's a lucky junk journaler out there who got the block. And here's that one, but I think it just needs to be stick down. I just need to maybe put some paper in there. So this one has no ribbons or anything on it, but I could. I was given some lace. I'm not going to do this right now, not as part of this video, but I was given some lace recently. And I could very easily go through in some of these pages. It would look really cool with having a little bit of lace put on here, black lace. That would even make it more of a Halloween journal, wouldn't it? Well, I might think about that. So anyway, so you've basically seen all there is to see in this book. We made it all together. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for staying with me. If you have, give me a comment or two. How did you like it? Is this something you're going to try? Getting a book cover. I know lots of people out there. I've seen, you know, that a lot of people will show how to take a book apart. Maybe I'll do that one day too. I have several more books that I want to take apart. And when you really want to harvest the pages, especially if you have a book that is sewn together, you can take it apart and you can harvest the double pages. And that makes it nice that you can put double pages in books, in journals that you make. So anyway, I'm going to just say thank you for hanging in here. Please comment. Please like the video. Sign up for notifications. I'm trying really hard to be on a weekly basis. I stay busy. I'm a senior. I've got a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of things I do, a lot of things for my health, and just to stay healthy. And so I'm going to continue doing that, but I want to share with what I know and some ideas that I have that I'd like to share with people. And so hugs from Texas. See you next time. Bye for now.